Hi, this is Tony Cheng, live for CGTN at the Thai Elephant Conservation Centre in Lampang. And I'm standing in what might look a little bit like a garage. You look up and you see this big, heavy crane that's capable of lifting 5 tons, it says on the outside. And that is illustrative of what this actually is. This is the operating room. This is the operating room of the Elephant Hospital here in Lampang. You can see here on the side they've got some of the medical equipment they use to treat the elephants that come in. They treat elephants from all over Thailand here. Most of them, they've just told me, these days come from commercial enterprises, places like elephant parks, zoos, places like that, of which there are many in Thailand. I'm not sure if any of you have been on holiday here, but taking a ride on an elephant is something that's one of the main tourist attractions. And you can see some of the patients who are currently in the hospital. They have about 10 elephants they're treating at the moment. We're just going to step over here at this drainage ditch. And you can see some of the 3 here. Now these 3, I understand, are not too badly injured at the moment. The first one here has a cornea problem, an eye problem. I understand there's the other 2 have cancer, which is being treated. And these have come from all sorts of different parts of Thailand. But we're here in Lampang, which is up in the north. And this is where the center of Thailand's sort of elephant trade used to be, because the rainforests up here were traditionally part of the logging industry, and elephants were very closely related to that industry. The reason we're here today is because the World Wildlife Foundation recently launched an initiative to try and persuade tourists, many of whom come to Thailand, not to buy ivory. Now there's a 1990 ban, universal ban throughout the world on ivory, but Thailand has an exception. It says that any ivory that comes from domestic elephants can be sold. Now that is slightly problematic because Thailand has produced, I think, on average about 500 kilograms of domestic ivory from elephants that have died naturally or been put down. And yet, ivory stocks in this country are currently at about 500,000 tons. Now that suggests that actually what's on sale here is African ivory that's being imported illegally, but is being sold legally here to tourists, many of whom buy it in night markets, bazaars and things like that. Quite innocently, they just want a trinket, something to take home to remind them of the elephants that they've seen here. But of course, that is perpetuating a trade which the WWF says is responsible for 20,000 African elephants a year being murdered by poachers. And it is an enormous problem. One of the reasons they launched this campaign recently was because here in Thailand we get an awful lot of Chinese tourists, particularly up in the north in Chiang Mai. And while China has enforced a very strong crackdown on ivory, a lot of Chinese tourists, for very valid cultural reasons, still value ivory enormously. And people find it here, they find it readily available. It is legal to buy, although it is actually illegal to import into China and to sell in China, but it still moves through. Although, interestingly, we went into the night market in Chiang Mai last night to see if we could find any, and there wasn't any on sale. There had been a recent crackdown by the police, and if there was any on sale, it was being very well hidden because we couldn't find it. But if we just come over here, we can talk a little bit about the Asian elephant, and I'm joined now by Mr. Deng.
Good morning.
Good morning. Very nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Deng, you are in charge of the Mahut training program here.
Yes.
What does it involve, training an elephant?
We train the elephant because they are big animals, and they are domestic elephants. So when they stay with human, like this, they have to be safe for us. So if we don't train them, maybe they don't know how to stay with human for safe. So if we tell them to know this is okay, this is safe, this is do not do it, so they will stay with us safe. And then when they get sick, we can take care of them easy.
These elephants are all domestic elephants, right?
Yes, domestic elephant.
And what process do you have to go through when you start to train them? What age can they be trained?
Around 3 years old.
Right.
When they born, they stay with the mother and sucking milk. About 3 years, the baby will strong, and then we can start. So when we train like a human. Human, when you have a son or a daughter, you have to take them to the school. So like elephants, so the mother will go with the baby and stay with the babies when they're learning in the classroom. For human, okay, you take them go to the vans, and then when your son or your daughter cry, you go to take them back. It's like elephants. So the baby go in the classroom, the mother outside the classroom. They can see each other. When we train the babies around 10 minutes, 20 minutes, the baby, okay, maybe they don't want to learn. Yeah. We take them back to the mother.
Right. So how difficult are they? I mean, we know that elephants are very intelligent animals, but how easy is it to train them? Does each elephant have a different characteristic?
Yes. The technique we use food. We call positive reinforcement.
Right.
Yeah, so we're gonna choose this baby like to eat like which one. So we put a banana, sugarcane, maybe sunflower seed or tamarind. If they pick sunflower seed, we're gonna use sunflower seed to give to them.
So you give them a choice.
Yes, a choice. When we tell them to do pick the thing up, if they listen, we feed them.
Right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, in the olden days, 100 years ago, here in Lampang, there would have been a huge timber industry. A lot of elephants would have been employed logging. These days, in modern Thailand, what do mahuts do? What kind of business is it?
Right now, when they ban the logging, so the elephant become to be for ecotourism. And right now, mostly they use them for like the tourists to come to visit and then want to learn with them. So we have the Mahout training program for the general people.
So ordinary people can come and learn to do what you do?
Yes, we have like a 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, 6 days, 10 days, and 30 days. Fantastic. So you can learn like a Mahout, like an assistant Mahout.
And when tourists come to do that, do they find that they form a bond with the elephants? That they're not just training them, that there is a link?
Yes, they can feel like they will understand closer with the elephants. Maybe some tourists really afraid of big animals. But when they stay with them 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, they will feel, oh, this is very special animal.
And do you think when tourists come and see these animals up close, sometimes they get to ride them, pet them, feed them, that actually helps them understand that buying things like ivory are so damaging for this species?
I think they understand why the ivory is very important for them. Because the ivory they use for survive in the forest.
Yeah. Of course, as a Mahout, you know how important the tusks are for an elephant, I guess, particularly in logging, but it's a fundamental part of the elephant, isn't it? The tusks. These ones don't have tusks, I see.
This is female.
Oh, these are female. Right, sorry.
So in Asian, we have 3 types.
Yeah.
Male with tusks, we call prai, like a mister. Female, we call pang, like a miss. And over there, that is male, no long tusks.
Right. Why doesn't he have long tusks?
Just born like that.
Okay, right.
We call him Sidor. He just born like a no long tusks.
Right.
But they have it's like a small incisor.
Right.
It's like a female.
Yeah.
But he's not a ladyboy.
No.
He's a man. He can mating for the baby.
I did notice in the back there, slightly out of shot, there is a very large male in the background though with a magnificent pair of tusks. I mean, Asian elephants do have large tusks too, don't they?
Yeah, the Asian, they have large tusks too.
But ivory isn't the only problem facing elephants, is it? A lot of these animals, I mean, you talked earlier about domestic elephants.
Yeah.
Thailand used to have a lot of wild elephants too, didn't it? What's happened to the wild elephant population?
Right now, the wild elephants, we have around 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just normally stay in the national park.
But, I mean, you said earlier that part of what you do is about training the elephants because when they come into contact with humans, they need to understand how to behave. They need to understand that there's a safety issue, frankly.
Safety.
I've been in Thailand's national parks myself with the park rangers. I remember one time in particular, they found the trail of a mother and a baby elephant, wild ones, and they were very nervous because they said, if you get close, the mother will get very aggressive.
Yes.
Is that a problem in Thailand?
No.
Not really.
So the national park officer, they have like provide a fence to protect between elephants and the villager. Yeah. So they tell them to understand the elephant behavior for the wild elephants too.
Right. But of course, these animals in the wild, they need a lot of land, don't they, to exist. Roughly how much? What kind of space can you keep an elephant in?
Our space?
Yeah. If these were to be roaming wild, how much space would they need?
For one elephant, so...
Yeah, well, a small pride of elephant.
The pride is, I think for one elephant it's about 2 or 3 hectares.
Right. That's quite feasible.
Yeah, so they can walk around and they can change the place to stay.
Yeah. But of course, I mean, I guess 90% of Thailand's elephants are now domesticated, aren't they? What kind of a life do they live in captivity? Do you have to, what kind of daily exercise routine do you have to give them?
Daily exercising, so in the day, this elephant will come to stay close to the people. So in the morning, Mahout, we go to get them from the forest because we let them stay in the forest.
Okay. Unchained?
We chain them because we don't have a big fence around here.
Right.
If we let them free, they can keep walking away. Right. Maybe go to the village or go to the road.
Right.
Maybe big problem. If go to the village, big problem with the villager around here. So every elephant, they have a chain around 30 meters about. They can walk around. And every day we change the place so they can find new food.
Is that because you need to keep them interested? You need to keep them mentally stimulated, keep their brains active?
And some elephants, they don't like each other.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. If you let them free, maybe they found each other. Maybe they can fight.
Yeah.
And maybe they can kill each other.
Right.
So this is safe for them.
So your role as a Mahout is not just controlling one elephant, but it's also understanding how they all interact with each other.
And then when they take them back to the center, Mahout take them a bath, feed them, take them drink, and take care of them all day.
And I guess a lot of people will have seen some of the tools a Mahout uses, a big stick with an iron hook. It looks quite intimidating. How do you use that?
That is, I can compare with policemen have a gun. Mahout have a hook because they are big animals. And some each elephant they different behavior. This is the gentle. That's why we can stay here. But some elephant aggressive.
Right.
So a hook we use in case emergency.
Right.
In case they're fighting. If they're fighting, how you can stop them?
So it's more of a threat than it's something that you're not actually going to use. You're just
just for protect the bad things happen. Right. Like when they're fighting, we can separate them. Or if they frightened, they run away, we can stop them. Yeah.
And they're getting some food here. What are you feeding them on?
This is we call banana grass. This is every day we have to feed them. Because elephant they eat about 10% of the body weight.
10% of their body weight.
Yes. Wow. อันนี้หนักเท่าไหร่นะพี่จัน This one 3,200 kilograms.
So he's consuming about 300 kilograms a day.
This is a normal food.
Wow.
The basics, like we feed them every day. And then we have supplement food.
Yeah.
This is made for elephants. And we have banana, we have sugar cane, We have dry hair. We have some fruit
Yeah.
to feed them.
And what kind of supplements do they need on top of their natural diet?
This is like a vitamin, maybe for support.
Right.
Yeah.
And
if we shake the elephant, the teeth, not good.
right.
Maybe no more.
Yeah.
So the mahout will make it smaller. Spinning make it smaller, so they can eat. They can like digest.
Yeah.
Because some elephant, if the teeth is not good, when they eat, they get constipation. Yeah, that is a big problem.
And I've read novels where mahout, so it's been talked about the relationship between a mahout and his elephant.
Yeah.
Is it a very close relationship?
Very close, because mahout and elephant is look like families. This is look like his daughter. Because they know each other.
Yeah.
Just look at their eyes.
Really?
They can understand. They are angry, they're happy. You know elephant happy?
How can you tell?
Flapping the ears,
Really?
flapping the ears,
Yeah.
wagging the tail.
Right.
But this is maybe they listen us talking.
Do you think they understand?
Yeah, they say flapping the ears. It's happy and keep eating.
So she
It's mean
knows-
happy elephants.
She knows what we're saying. Well, I hope she's not offended by us here.
Yeah, and now some of mahout son learn from mahout to be mahout in the future.
But I would imagine it's also a trade which is increasingly one. I mean, it's with many things in Thailand. We see modern technology coming in. These are all domestic animals. I guess it was a proud tradition in the past, but are many people still training to be mahouts?
Not too much now, because right now they can find a better job. Maybe because mahout job is quite some elephant aggressive. Maybe it's dangerous for them, and they have to stay with elephants like per month, maybe 26 days a month.
So
Stay
really,
with
you were
elephant
saying
more
it's
than
like-
wife.
You were saying it. You know, some of the mahouts see their elephants as children. I guess if you're spending that much time, then it probably is that kind of relationship.
Yes. If this elephant sick, mahout have to stay with this one, maybe all day, all night, to take care.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, Mr. Deng. Very nice to meet you. Captain Cup.
You're welcome.
All right.
See you.
Thank you very much. So, a fascinating insight there into the life of the Asian elephant. Again, these are domesticated animals. The point that the WWF is trying to make is that these incredibly majestic animals, the largest creatures in the world, are very much at threat. 20,000 African elephants a year are being poached because there is still a thriving trade in ivory. Now, the Chinese government has been very thorough in cracking down. We ourselves have seen the evidence of what the Thai government is doing by trying to stamp out illegally poached ivory on sale in its markets. But it hasn't yet completely banned the sale of ivory. It is still legal to purchase ivory in Thailand, and I think that's something many people would like to see the Thai government change. And when you spend time with these animals, you get a sense of just how incredible they are, just what their physical presence, and again, as Mr. Deng was saying, you could look into their eyes and you see a very intelligent, sentient being. And I think the great concern is that if we continue with the poaching at the rates that we're seeing at the moment, there's a very good chance that the elephant won't be with us for much longer. This is Tony Cheng for CGTN at the Elephant Conservation Centre in Lampang, Northern Thailand.